What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're going to love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you comment anything in the comment section to enter your name into the $50 giveaway that I do every single week on this channel. I'll be announcing last week's winner on Monday morning. All right, now let's go ahead and get into it as normal. We had a great night last night with NBA and MLB, but now today we only have single game for NBA until these playoffs start coming, so it's really focused on MLB time and UFC as well. So hit up greenlightdfs.com for MLB and UFC. Also, PGA is doing really well as well, so let's go ahead and keep this going. All right, let's get into it. Now, as you can see on the screen, once again, it is the Greenlight Optimizer. If you've never been to our website, greenlightdfs.com, yes, we have an optimizer available for our people for MLB, NBA, and soon to be NFL. We will have the Greenlight Optimizer for NFL this year. Super excited about that. But let's go ahead and get into this. Now, first thing I want to mention, because I noticed this morning, is that our optimizer automatically will put all the games on the optimizer, okay? So when you first come into the optimizer, they'll all be checked. All right? Now, when you want to just do the main slate, you just got to make sure that only the main slate is available. All right? So you just unclick Kansas City, Minnesota, and it'll take those players out of there. All right? Now, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's start over here on DraftKings, and I will switch it over to FanDuel when we're done. Now, let's look at the pitching. All right? Our optimizer really loved Christian Javier at 7.4. He's projected over 20. It looks like amazing value, and in my opinion, he is some very solid value today. He's going against Seattle, solid matchup against them. Houston should easily be able to get the win here, give him some run support. Now, he's not going to dominate. He's not going to be, oh my God, amazing, but 15 to 20 is a possibility for sure going against the Seattle offense, and it gives you a pitcher who's got a decent K rate in a good matchup in a pitcher-friendly ballpark with a game in course where you do want to target a side today. All right, and I'll get to that, but there is a side that you definitely want to take advantage of in that course game. So Javier really gives you that. All right, so I love Javier as my value pitcher. He's one of my favorite value pitchers on the slate. Speaking of value, before I get into Patrick Corbin, James Paxton. The problem is Paxton has not been very good this year. There's something up with him. He has not been very good at all, but we know what he has done through his career. He's been solid. So if this isn't one of those things where he's just literally just headed downhill and there's no coming back from it, then you don't want to play him. But if he's just struggling to start out and he's going to get back to his old ways, I mean, he's got a very good K rate. So James Paxton is a decent value as well at 8.1 with the K rate that he possesses. Outside of that, there's not a ton of guys that I'm super interested in. I mean, I guess you could play Alex Young or Cal Quantrill. Both of those guys are okay if you want to play them. But really, I'm sticking to the right now. And remember, this is my first look. And I made a video yesterday kind of explaining my stacking. I started the series on strategy for MLB on my channel. If you haven't seen that yet, the video is posted on my channel. I did episode 1 yesterday and talked about finding the right stack. Obviously, that takes a lot more hours and a lot more time to find that and get everything together, okay? So when I do the high five videos, it is a first look and just off gut reaction, off just experience of playing DFS for years, all right? There's not a whole bunch of hours research into this, okay? I just want to make that known. Now, like I said, Christian Javier is my main go-to, and then Patrick Corbin, very solid K rate. He's just, I mean, the matchup against Baltimore, Baltimore's been a rejuvenated team, and I talked about that before the season even started. I took a look at how spring training had looked, and Baltimore have been just really, really good. And this Baltimore team's not too bad. The offense is not too bad. They've been playing very, very well. Corbin's got a really, really solid K rate, and he's just very, very consistent. All right, and it'll. The only thing that could get me off of Corbin is if for some reason, I can't find any value to be able to fit the course bats that I really want. Because, like I said, there is a side that I do like here off the initial look. And if that's the case and I decide, okay, yeah, I definitely want to get some solid exposure to the course field, then I'm definitely going to have to go down from Corbin most likely unless there's amazing value that pops on the slate later on. All right? But, yeah, if you get the value, then he's definitely in play. James Paxton, if you think that this beginning of the year has just been a fluke and he'll get back to his old ways, his K rate is very solid and Boston strikes out a good amount. But yeah, Javier and Corbin are the main go-to guys that I'm wanting exposure to. Outside of that, that's about it. All right, now let's talk about hitters. All right, let's go over to hitters. Let's start off at first base. Now, I talked about there being a side that I actually want to choose here in Coors, okay? And that side is going to be Colorado. All right, going against Kyle Gibson. Gibson's been giving up to lefties and righties so far this year. He's been struggling a lot, and it's just a great spot to finally jump on it, okay? Because on top of that, Gibson's really struggled versus lefties this year. All right, he's really been struggling versus lefties, and he's given up over a 300 batting average easy to lefties. And lefties should just be able to mash him here. And when I noticed that Daniel Murphy gives me a Coors bat batting in the heart of this order at only 4.6, I'm definitely all over it. So, like I said, there is a Coors way I want to go today for sure. Yesterday, I wasn't really on a side for that game yesterday. The research that I did throughout the day kind of told me to stay away, which I did, and it turned out great because that Coors game was really blah. But today, it's not telling me that. The research so far is telling me that the lefties for Colorado is the way to go, and they're probably going to put up a good amount of runs on Gibson today. But Daniel Murphy is definitely my high five first baseman that I really like. Absolutely love my boy Murphy. Also, lefties for Oakland are in a fantastic spot, and who better than Matt Olson, one of the best hitters on this Oakland squad. I'm not most likely. I'm leaning, as you can see, the point per dollar wise is leaning for Daniel Murphy over Matt Olson very slightly. In GPP, I can totally understand getting off Murphy for Olson. That would make complete sense because Murphy will have higher ownership. Pivoting off to Matt Olson is solid in GPP. And then Eric Thames is the optimizer is all over Eric Thames. I might bring that down a tad. That's a little extra, but Thames always has that crazy power and the crazy possibility with him. That's why the optimizer really loves him because for GPP, Thames definitely's got the upside, and at only 4,000, he's a value guy. All right, now let's go to third base because third base has my next guy. I'm really wanting to pick on Sean Manaea. Sean Manaea has really struggled against righties. I believe he's given up over a 340 batting average to right-handed bats. He's really struggled against them, as well as his K rate just plummeting. At one point in his career, he had a decent K rate, but now he's just not striking guys out, and especially righties are just getting the bat on the ball nonstop. Now, Solano has been having a spectacular season. The dude is batting crazy. I believe he's got over a 400 batting average. He's been mashing. Has like over a 330 average versus lefties alone. Hits lefties really, really, really well. Most of the time, people won't play San Francisco guys, but I honestly love the Giants. Off of just the small amount of research I've done so far, I really, really love some Giants righties like Flores, Solano, and multiple guys in this lineup, depending on what the official lineup ends up being. But Solano and some Giants guys are definitely guys who are popping in my mind early on. All right. You got Cabrera as a solid option at 4,000. Manny Machado. Optimizer really, really loves Machado, and you guys know how much I love Machado, especially when he's facing a lefty. So, righty-lefty matchup. The pitcher he's facing, Young, is not horrible. He's not a horrible pitcher. Everything I've looked at him, he's actually been pretty damn solid. But Manny Machado is a beast versus lefties, and he's only 100 more than Solano. So I completely understand wanting to go Machado maybe in cash games over Solano. I completely understand, but just know that Solano is the guy I want to put in my high five because he has that potential to really smash here in a fantastic spot and get you off the higher owned Manny Machado. All right, last but not least, I'm going to go with, and now first things first, my projection on Robbie Grossman is not accurate. I'm going to change that, okay? All right, don't worry about that. That will change. Now, who I really want is JD Martinez. All right, JD's 4.7, has the righty-lefty against Paxton, and like I said, a lot of people might shy away from picking on Paxton because everybody thinks of Paxton as an elite pitcher because at one point he was really, really, really good. This year he has been nothing close to his normal self. He's been struggling versus lefties and righties, especially righties. This is a fantastic spot for a guy like JD Martinez who already mashes lefties. Now he's going against a pitcher who once was really good and his name carries some weight, so people might fear playing against him and might keep JD Martinez's ownership low. Okay, obviously I prefer like some Coors bats instead if you want to go that route. But in this high five, I really like JD. I think he's got some sneaky upside potential for GPPs at 4-7. I really think he's a great play against this lefty in Paxton. And like I said, I think Paxton's name alone might possibly keep his ownership lower than it really should be in this matchup because Paxton has not been anywhere near elite this year, has been really struggling heavily versus righties, and it's a very solid spot for JD. All right, but with that said, now that I've got my high five done, we'll go over that one more time. It's Christian Javier and Patrick Corbin as of now. First base is Daniel Murphy. Third base it is Solano or Manny Machado, and then the outfield JD Martinez. All right, now coming back out here, like I said, when it comes to the pitching, Javier, Corbin, James Paxton is fine for GPPs if you want to go that route. Some people might feel comfortable as the day goes on going cash because Boston has been striking out a lot. So Paxton will give up runs in this game. Most likely a home run to JD Martinez, okay? He will give up runs in this game, but will his amount of strikeouts be able to cover him? Now, so far this year, he's just been giving up a ton, and he has struggled a lot. So it is a risk. He's not the safe guy that you usually would go with, but he's a decent option because those strikeouts might be able to cover him and give him a solid floor here against Boston. So Javier, Corbin, Paxton. If in GPPs, I wouldn't I wouldn't hate you for going Marquez because nobody's going to go Marquez, but Marquez has been solid in Coors and away from Coors. He's just a solid overall pitcher, induces a incredibly high ground ball rate. He's just a very solid pitcher, and now he's going against a Texas squad that strikes out a lot, has not been hitting the ball great. Obviously it's a scary situation because it's in Coors and you don't really want to play pitchers in Coors mostly. I'm talking GPP. I'm talking really deep GPP. All right, Marquez, nobody's going to play Marquez. He's got a decent spot here against Texas. All right, and that's it, guys. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Greenlightdfs.com. Join the squad, man. Let's smash this slate once again. Let's keep this heat going. Thank you guys for joining me as always, and I'm out. Peace.